quick video update with the system here. There's some effects going on I can't explain, so now I don't have a ground connected to the transmitter. There is no ground connected to the transmitter. We still have wireless power present, consuming 24 watts of power. Run off a DC power supply, everything's adjustable. Still have decent wireless range. And the transmitter's secondary, the bottom of the transmitter's secondary is not grounded this time. It's not going to ground. So this is the unexplained effect. It's still working nearly as good, receiving power out of the earth, even when it's ungrounded. So I didn't ground the transmitter, and these lights still light up. Like, I can't explain it. Like, look how bright these are. So this connection is between my heater and my two metal desks. This jumper just connects my two metal desks together. That's literally all it is. And that's where this LED is lit from, with the little antenna diode configuration. This is also lit, just connected to the heater. And I have this separate LED lit. And this is coming off of the heater, going to earth ground. And this is where it gets really interesting. If I take my meter and do a continuity test between, so you can hear it beeping. So if I do a continuity test between earth ground and the heater, so continuity test between the heater and earth ground, it'll beep. So we know that earth ground and the heater are connected. It's the same thing. It's the same body. So earth ground from the outlet and the heater are the same body. So in theory that should be the same potential, but how does the LED light when I connect it to the heater and then earth ground? Like, how does that light? Everything gets brighter. Like, I can't explain that effect. When I do that, when I connect it, those light too. Like, you can see this lighting, that lighting. I just connected, it goes out. How is that effect occurring? Because the heater is at the same potential as the earth ground from the power outlet. Like, there should be no difference there. There must be some interaction going on with the antenna diode, the 1N4148 diode, but I'm not sure. Like, see? Do a continuity test. See, you hear it beeping. It's the same, it's at the same potential, and yet we still have the light lit somehow. If I can hold it on there. Like, there's so many unknown things going on with this system. But yeah, I just did the test and you saw that they're at the same potential. I'll do it again. I'll disconnect the light. Connected. So, the heater and earth ground from the power outlet, which literally goes right to my power outlet. I ripped out the other wires. It's literally just an earth connection. Like, how is, if they're at the same potential, how does that LED light up? I don't understand that. And I'll connect it again. Another thing to note too is it will dimly light when just connecting the earth. And it gets brighter if I touch the end. You can see that. Because I'm activating as an elevated capacitance, or an elevated antenna body. And I connect the heater again, and boom, everything gets brighter. That gets brighter, that gets brighter, and that lights. And I'll show you the other interesting test. I'll show you the amount of current that's flowing into the LED. So for that I need to borrow this wire from you, and I will show you the current that's flowing into this LED. So 6 milliamps. And disconnect you. I did something before where it went up to 20. I'm not sure what I did. So the current flowing from earth ground through the LED and into the heater is 6 milliamps. And slowly climbing. I cannot explain some of the effects that are occurring here. Like, how is there a current flow between two bodies that are at the same potential? Because the meter says they're connected, they're at the same potential. That doesn't make sense. That's like you're running your load from one end of a steel pipe to the other. It's like you connect a wire from one end of a pipe to the other end, and you put your load in the middle and it lights. There's stuff going on here that I can't explain, but it's very interesting. And I've been reading up a lot lately on all these old wireless power papers. The only theory I can have is that there's a standing wave occurring between the 2 points in ground, and the standing wave only gives you your energy once you have the antenna diode set up to receive it. I mean, that's just my guess. I could be wrong. And we're still increasing in power. That's interesting. It's fluctuating. So that LED is consuming almost 7 milliamps to run. So now I will disconnect. And also note when I connect earth ground to my desk, this also gets brighter. Everything is getting brighter. Okay, so that's brighter. And that one is brighter. So I connected earth ground to my 2 metal desks, which are ungrounded. They're just free floating on the floor on little plastic stands. Okay. So I'm going to connect my earth ground connection up here. Oh, that got very bright. So I'm going to do this. Come on. It's hard to do stuff one-handed. Okay, that's connected. I think this is where we'll see the 20 milliamps now. Now I will go, I will do this. I will connect, I'll have to borrow you. Okay. Now we will see how much power is flowing in to the LED. Yeah, there's where we get almost 20 milliamps. That's what I did yesterday, I think. So now we more than doubled our power. 15 milliamps is flowing through. Just from to light that LED. 15 milliamps flowing through to light that LED. So to sum it up, I connected earth ground to the metal desks and it got brighter. And 15 is flowing through. And I also have my transmitter on very low power. And the secondary is also ungrounded. So it works ungrounded too. We're consuming 24 watts. I'll try increasing the power to 19 and see what we get. Not much improvement. Okay, so not much improvement in turning up to 19 volts, but we use a lot more power. I'll go back down to where we were. That's a good number. 23, 20. Power consumption, everything is still lit. Not much of a difference. Seems to fluctuate. I wonder if sunlight makes a difference. Oh, sunlight does make a difference. You see that? Putting the antenna diodes in sunlight makes a difference. Wow, okay. That's an interesting effect. I just put the antenna diodes in a little spot of sunlight. And I can't read the voltage on this thing, which is a little strange. I'll try and read the voltage. It's like the voltage doesn't register. There's definitely more than half a volt there. I'm gonna move a few things around. Yeah, see, the voltage doesn't even register. Voltage isn't even registering. Is it AC? No. No voltage potential. And this was an $80 meter. So no voltage potential between the earth ground, the desk, and the heater. And it is also electrically connected. As you can hear, it's electrically connected. You hear it beeping. That's essentially a short circuit. Short circuit. So if it's a short circuit, how does it light when I connect the LED? How is that lighting? That shouldn't even be possible. And that's bright. What if I try and light an LED with no diodes? I'm going to try and light one of these jumbos without the 1N448 diode. As you can see, I'm going to light this LED, or I'm going to try to. I've never done this test yet without the little antenna diodes on it. I can separate the leads, hold on. Okay, I separated the leads. So let's see if this lights. Still does light, even without the diodes. But there's no voltage potential being registered. I mean, an LED is a diode, though. Does it work in reverse? If I switch the connections, will it still light? Yes, it does. How is that possible? It must be a high-frequency AC signal for it to work both directions. That looks the same intensity as with the antenna diodes. I'm going to put 2 of these diodes in series and see what happens. I'm going to put the camera down for a second to do this. I'm going to have you sit right here, maybe. Just for a second while I connect these diodes. Try and do it as quick as I can. So I'm connecting the diodes. I'll do 3. I don't think I screwed it up. Almost done. Okay, so I connected 3 diodes now. I connected these 3 together, and we'll see if this lights. They still light very intensely. Yeah, they're lighting just as bright as the one. That kind of makes you wonder how big of a chain I can have now. Okay, I'll do a current draw test on them. It's drawing 11 milliamps. So the 3 are drawing less current than the 1. And that might be because of the diodes. Let's confirm that. So I will connect just the 1. Just the 1 is with the diodes is connected. We're at a higher current draw. But there's no difference in intensity. No difference in brightness intensity. It kind of hurts my eyes to look at. But we draw less current. Huh. And again, we're at short circuit conditions between the heater and the earth ground. As you can hear, it's short circuit conditions. Yeah, there's no resistance because it's a short circuit. So I don't know how that's lighting. Short circuit between earth ground and the heater. But yet I can connect my LEDs to a short circuit and they light. Yeah, wow. I'll shut the meter off. My transmitter is consuming 23 watts. Transmitter is off. Consuming 0 watts. Everything has gone out. Everything's out. I will connect again. I will turn the transmitter back on. We are back on, consuming 23 watts. These should light up in a sec. There we go. Boom. Whoops. There we go. That's lit. 120 volt bulb. Lit. Something I want to do now is do a current draw reading from just this LED, which drew the most current. So that's brighter. And something to note is when I connected that got brighter too. So 15 milliamp draw, 15.38 or 5. Keep that number in mind. I'm going to remove you out of the way. So you are out of range. Power draw didn't really change. Now, do we have more or less current? So we have a little more current. 2 more milliamps. Now I will remove you in range. This coil might slightly be out of tune, but just by a little bit. So you are now back in range. I'll have it as far away as possible and still where it's lit. So you're lit. We're consuming same amount of power because we're far enough away where we're not detuning the transmitter by being so close. And we have 17.4 milliamps. So 1 milliamp less. Very interesting. Ooh, these are lighting too, just from me being near. What the heck is going on? I'm going to connect a lead to the heater. So I will now get a lead. I like using white or green connections for earth. Come on. There we go. So I will connect the bottom of you to my heater again. And that is lit. And our current went up. So we're running a more of a load, it's brighter, and my current draw went up. As you can see, that's lit. That's lit. Being a little picky, I might have to turn my transmitter's power up, but I don't want to. Assuming 23 watts. So I'll go over here. I think this is what's occurring. Ground point A, ground point B. When transmitter's powered on, I think there might be a standing wave at 3 megahertz, question mark. So that's the LED lit with that, and it also lit just regularly. And there's the transmitter. You can optionally ground the bottom of the secondary. It works either way. So there must be a form of wireless induction into the ground. Wireless induction into ground? Question mark. Because it works either way. So it must look something like this. Bottom of secondary ground also works when ungrounded. This is when I ran the big chain of LEDs. So in theory, I could go outside, put 2 ground rods in the ground, and run the load between the 2 points, if there is a standing wave. That should prove the theory, so that will be my next test later. Okay, yeah, I'm going to end this video here. More tests to come, and thanks for watching.